Morning. And y'all can see I don't sound any better, I'll put it that way. So I'm not really that better. My throat it's not like hurting anymore, but I have no voice really at all. I sneezed probably 7,000 times about 2 minutes ago, and I'm here. How y'all doing today? I hope y'all having a blessed morning. It's about 7:10, and I'm starting a little late this morning, but I had to wait until my princess got dressed to go to school, because today she is 16 years old. Wow. Truly amazing. They grow so fast. So fast they grow. And it happens, literally it feels like in a blink of an eye when I look back at it now. Like, I feel like it's just like it's flown by. It's like yesterday she was tugging on my pants leg, asking for a Disney store or something. And it's just to see how fast they grow, right? Going through pictures, from 1 to 16, it's like birth to 16. It's just like, man, this how far life has come so fast. It just seems like so fast. And I know it's not fast, but it seems like fast. And this is what I try to tell everybody about spending time with your children. And even children spending time with their parents when they're elderly, when they get old. When we get over 60, 65, that's usually what puts y'all in the age of probably young family, and it makes it hard. I know it makes it stressful, but I'm just saying, make that time. Right? Your parents made time for you all the way through, and to get you through school and college in one piece, and get you out of college and successful life, and that's about the time that family starts. And that's what makes it even harder sometimes, is that that's the busiest time in our lives. If we look back and remember, just getting married, just getting a house, or saving for a house, and starting a little family, and careers, and everything is in full swing at that point. And that's usually when they're like, well, I'm so busy. Yeah, just make the time, is all I say. You never know. Life is too short. Spend time with your parents. And it's just, I don't think people really understand, like, life is really, really fast. And I know that sometimes you feel like it's dragging on, but no, it's not. It's really, really fast. Because you're going to wake up in a few days and it's going to be like, you'll be like 60, 65, 70, and you'll be like, did I do everything in life I wanted to do? And it's hard for them to understand, right? Because they haven't lived their life. They're just starting to. And we're already in chapters that towards the end of ours trying to figure out retirement. Is it looking good? Like, all these things. And then I go back and I think, at 16, wow, isn't life kind of roller coasterish? To me, I'm not saying in a bad way. I'm saying it's kind of like hormones have like finally come out and they're gone, and they're like finally mellowing down. And if you're a girl at 16 or a boy at 16, it's different. It's a new world. That's like the homecomings, and you know what I mean? That's the start. That's the part that starts adulthood. That makes you grow up. And I think we'll probably all be on the same page to agree with this, that it feels like it's not so much that college drags on. It doesn't drag on. It's they think it drags on, right? And what little do they know that is their years when they should just live it, right? I'm not saying doing things stupid. I'm saying, like, live their life, right? Experience things and get ready for your career to start. And I know it's a different video this morning, but my daughter's 16, and I'm thinking, it feels like just yesterday she was 5 or 2, and I got my oldest, right, going to be 22 in March. And it's like, to see the difference between where she is and where the young one is. Like, as far as age difference, 5 years apart. And there's a lot that transpires in that 5-year gap. I know with girls, I'm learning every day. It's something different. And I don't know if it's the same with boys. I'm sure it is. This is their years of learning, developing, like figuring themselves out, figuring out who they are, who they want to be. Do they defend people? Do they not? Do they, bully or not a bully? Like, this is all that stuff where it kind of becomes really clear, right? 16, that's kind of when you kind of decide, I think, in life, like, that's boyfriends, girlfriends, that's all that crazy stuff, right? I don't know. I thought I was safe with that. And this is what I'm trying to tell you. As parents, we think we know everything, right? We think we know it all. But really, we don't. We think we do. I can tell you we know at that age whether we trust our kids or not at that age, at 16. And I do totally 1,000% trust my kids. I think they would do anything. Yeah, they're not going to do. I pray to God they don't do anything to put themselves in harm's way or to put others in harm's way or pick on people. But I don't believe my kids would never do that. I know they would never bully anybody because they know how I feel about it. But I think about this because today is her 16th birthday, and I think how it makes me feel as just a parent alone. And then I sit here and I think about Katie Prophet. Because there's not... She had a pause before she even said it was her son's 16th birthday. Remember, there's a difference between he would have been and he is, right? Doesn't that tell us something? Doesn't the Chris talking about how they grieve in different ways? Why are you grieving? He's missing. No one's giving you proof that says he's not with us anymore. Why are you grieving in your own way like that? Like, enough about holidays that you're talking about empty tables, empty seats at tables when you're 3 weeks from that particular holiday. And then you're, 9 weeks from Valentine's. And Katie's, Chris is like, well, Christmas, it's hard. It's empty seats at the table, and we know it's not going to be here, and it's just hard for people. It's hard. She's grieving in her own way. And then she stands up in the background, which I didn't see her face. I'm just saying, all you hear blurred out is, and Valentine's Day. And I'm thinking, is that when this all started? Did this all plan, this all thing start on Valentine's? Is that something that started this? That Valentine's apart, did y'all have to finally spend a Valentine's apart? And you were worried, Katie, because you probably spent Valentine's with the lady over there at the waitress, the restaurant. Probably took her back to his camper. Put some mustard on the biscuits. I don't know. I don't know what he did. I don't care what he did. But I know one thing he didn't do. There's some things he didn't do. Okay? Do I have another phone? Y'all aren't going to be able to hear this very well, but I'm going to play you something. And it's because this mom is so brokenhearted she can't talk, okay? But it is really, really soft, so I might as well just be honest. It's going to be it's hard to hear. So before you hear it, believe me, I'm telling you it's hard to hear because I know this is hard to hear. But I'm saying that for a reason. Because I know that some of y'all already have a hard time hearing. If I can find where I recorded it. Here it is.
He's their best friend. We love these boys like our own. And it's just as hard on them as it is on us.
What do you think of that? I gotta see. You want to watch her face? I think we can watch her face. I think that might be a good idea. Nope. Sorry, guys. I'm not doing this for volume. I'm doing this to show something. She's gonna put her face up there in a second. See what they did automatically? It's instinct. It's a proof of point. It's instinct.
I mean, they're heartbroken also.
She's gonna break. As soon as I said his name, she breaks. She's trying everything in her power to hold that together. You see that? It's her son. You see the emotion? That's a mother that has freaking lost her mind. Her world is broken in a second while she was asleep in her bed. Now she's facing reality and trying to talk about Riley Strand, her son. So I'm saying there's no need for me to have to play I played the volume first so I could show you that because I wanted you to see that. I wanted you to see that, mother. I wanted you to see what a real mother with a child missing. In the first few days of him missing, that's how the moms are going to be. She was broken. And she had 3 others there supporting her. 2 step-parents and her ex-husband. Right? And what did she say? What did she say? We love him like he's our own. She's not talking about her, she's talking about we. Because she knows. But you know what? Both sets love this kid unconditionally. Both sets came together, put their differences aside. And she was supportive of all 4, just like Abbott Petito's parents. Do we see that from Katie? Do we? Do we hear that from Katie? Do we ever see anything close to that from Katie Prophet? Do we? I don't know that we do. You know what I mean? I don't know if y'all can tell me that we do. I really don't know if y'all can tell me that. Because I don't think you can. And let me find it. I got it here somewhere.
I saw the comments and I said,
Look at the face.
and then he said, what do you mean? I said, he's not in this effing house. I can't find our son. And I jumped in my car and I drove around the neighborhood and I drove over by the school and he's already...
Oh, he was already, okay, you see the difference? There you go. Nowhere in any bit of that was even a crack of emotion, a crumb of emotion. And I think that's why she had a hard time saying something to him if he was out there listening. She just couldn't. She didn't have anything. She didn't have any, those feelings that you're supposed to have inside, that Riley Strand's mom had. Katie didn't have those feelings. I still haven't figured that part out yet, but I think that's from all the drama that she felt was building around her for all these years. And then whatever was been going on with DCS and her husband, her stepfather, and didn't like her son, whatever it may be. This is a mother that made a choice. That's not someone that's broken. That's someone that has a more dull face every time the child's name is said. Like there's no emotion there. There's no realness, nothing. To her, it's just another day to tell a lie. I would like to see her give a speech today. See if that changed. Now that reality's about to smack her in the face. Man, karma sometimes just gets you, right? It just literally jumps out the goddamn bushes and gets you. Literally. In this case, almost, in my opinion. In my opinion. I feel that I can comfortably say that. That literally, it jumped out the bushes to get you, right? I mean, I don't know how any other way to explain it. I almost did Gabby Petito's parents too, and I thought, I don't need that. All I need is one, right? I could have put a double whammy, but I don't want to break her that much. I don't want to break her down that much. I mean, I want her to walk out in public today, you know? I could have gone even more. I almost did K-Ron's mom for each year of the 15 years. And she showed more emotion over 15 years than Katie showed in the first 5 minutes. She didn't make it 5 minutes. Go back and watch that clip again. I know y'all seen it 10 million times, but I can bet you she didn't make it 5 minutes without slipping something really, really big, something really, really huge, a little over 3 minute mark. She didn't even make it 5 minutes. It's what they say. It's what they say. It's the first things they say that point us the way, right? That's what I always say. It's the way they say their first things, right? The way they put them that leads us the way, right? Leads us to what we're going to choose. We made up our decision. Majority of us had a half hunch or more gut feeling right then and there in the first 5 minutes of that video. Right? Because most people caught that. Well, it was too late, or it was too, well, what were you going to say? Just say it. That's right. If we had to do that, we had to do that for a reason. Do we have to do that in Riley Strand's mom when she was talking? Do we have to sit there and look at her? And they did zoom in her face. Did I show y'all that part? They did zoom into her face. Like, this is what they do to parents when they talk. That camera zoomed straight into that mother. I mean, almost could have freaking seen the freckle on her nose, right? If she would have had one. I'm just using that as an example. Let's look at this again. I don't remember, but I think this camera is going to zoom. I don't think y'all can hear it because I wasn't doing it for volume. Oh, I got to wait for the guy to hurry up. Hey, there you go. Sorry, guys. Watch when the camera turns to the mother. This is because they're always looked at. Look at that. See that? Where did they go? All those people were there.
It's instinct.
And where did they go?
It's a proof of point. It's instinct.
She showed more emotions in those 5 words right there than Katie showed in the first 5 minutes of her speech. One speaking on day 1, one speaking on day 8 or 9 when the heat is on. Riley Strand's parents didn't wait. They jumped out and begged, and they pleaded. And that mother stood up there every day broken. She stood in every press conference broken every day. Waiting, hoping, praying that someone was going to find Riley and that he was going to be okay, and that maybe he might be a little beat up or have a couple broken bones. He might have had a little fall or something, but he's okay, right? Well, she got her answers a few weeks after the case started, right? Not the answers she wanted to hear, but she got those answers. And this is another thing that I feel that sometimes people are found quick, sometimes people are found after a while. But when they're found, they're found. But then the sad part is that sometimes they're not found. And then when they're not found and you look at those clips and you see Katie just talking like there's no tomorrow, waving her hands in the air like you just don't care, right? That's what she's doing. But she slipped in the meantime of doing that with one huge thing early on. And I think that led everybody and pointed everybody in the direction that they needed to go in. But man, I'm telling you, I told y'all this was going to be something crazy. This is going to be something that y'all least expected. They were going to use their military training in some way, shape, or form, or fashion. And what I'm putting together might just show that that's exactly what they did. That they knew everything about the flashlights. They knew about it. They knew about it all. But guess what? That decoy in the backyard that's going on, I don't believe none of them were there at that particular point. So now I got to figure out who these other 3 people separated from these other 5 to 7, right? Because, or at least 2. That's a car and a person, and then a person. So maybe it's not Katie. maybe he told us it has no relevance to Sebastian's disappearance, but it might play a role down the road. Okay? So it really didn't have anything to do with his disappearance, but it's going to play a part down the road. Okay, now, just like I said, that's in the evidence file, whether it's something or nothing. But I think he believes exactly what I believe. I think he believes, now that I see these, I think that was just a distraction like I thought all along. And I had the hunch, I just didn't know which other route can they go. And then I started putting the dogs together. And then when I really got confirmation, I mean solid confirmation. And from FBI, I got confirmation. We all got confirmation from FBI that something was a little different than we thought, right? That dog scent, that dog. Why do you think they tried to do that? That's Sebastian said, that's Sebastian said, that's Sebastian. No, because they knew from when those dogs followed that scent down that thing, that was most likely their scents, one of their scents. If not all of their scents. And that's kind of the way you can loop around and get back there to that road if you really want to think about it. Probably out of camera's views. So was this a distraction? Was this flashlight thing going on at the exact same time? Think about that. Think about that really hard. You think that's possible? Does that paint a better picture? Does it make more sense? Makes more sense to me. Because why? Because they wanted all the focus to be there. Just like they tried to make all the focus the front door, right? I don't know why he went out that door. I don't know why. I don't know where he's at. I don't know where he's at, right? Front door, front door, front door, front door. That's what it was. Push the front door because he couldn't get out any other door, right? But also, could he have got out the front door? Let's ask Chris Prophet that question.
Had been in by the front door, punched in the code. Believe it or not, no, it's not super clear, but you would have seen a shadow or a figure.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
And based on, something, one of the lights is still visible from that green camera from across the street.
Yeah. I told y'all that was going to come in handy. Didn't I tell you that would come in handy? Didn't I tell you that trip to the school would be, man, oh man, something huge? I do believe that. Like I said, it just depends on what you feel inside, but what is probable, right? What's possible, what's probable, what's not, what is, which way do you look at it? I think that is a perfect setup. Perfect setup. Flashlight, barefoot. Don't know why he went out the front door. Then on Smiley's World, stepfather, Chris Prophet, tells us he couldn't have gone out the front door. Because, more than not, the likelihood that the ring camera that's facing that front door would have caught him. Or caught someone, at least a shadow of someone. Okay? So now we scratch everything she said early on because I don't know why. I don't know why. We don't need to know that anymore because you didn't go out the front door. So that was all a lie. But your little trying to cry, trying to pretend to cry, saying something over and over to try to break your tears, trying hard. Was that why you were using that? Was to try to make yourself cry? I don't know. I have no idea. But I do see a clearer picture now. A whole lot clearer. Think about what I just said a while ago. If you got something going on over here that's crazy, that's out of the ordinary, it's a missing kids case gonna be in a few hours. And we didn't even know it yet, but evidently they knew it. So they controlled when we knew it, right? They controlled what time we found out about it. And that's all they needed was control. Control of, hey, let's go ahead and set up this crazy video. It's going to distract the hell out of everybody. It's going to be right around the same time. They're going to be pushing this way. They're going to be pushing for the construction site. They're going to be pushing for that common area. And we're going to be on the other way, over here this way. And they're never going to know we're there because they're going to be focused this way. That's why we push this. That's why we push the land, that little retention pond and construction side and the back of that fence. And every which way to keep you from where we want you to be looking. Remember, I said this early on, that it's going to be some kind of twist. Because I've always felt down deep that this is something of the nature of what they did, somehow, some way. It's extra dark, Katie said. How would she know it's extra dark? How would you know it's extra dark if you weren't standing in them bushes over there? But what happened? You're the one that stepped out and caught that security light to come on? And then you're like, froze? And then everybody else crouched down. Whoa, shit, right? And Chris Proudfoot's big-ass melon head just happened to be visible from the angle of that camera. Perfectly angled, if that's him, which in my opinion it is. But I don't have proof yet, but we're almost there. I think it'll come. I think that if I don't get it, somebody's going to get it. Somebody's going to eventually get this. I don't need credit for it. Just get this kid home. That's what it's about. Sebastian Rogers deserves to be home. He deserves the truth. He deserves answers, just like all these other ones. But I wanted to do that for a reason, because I was going to do that on Fire Chat last night, and I sat up till about 5:30 this morning trying to figure out how to do it, because I don't think I'm ready to tell that part yet. But my daughter's birthday today, and I have to be celebration of that, right? But I also have to think about all these missing kids out here, because we have to think about them, baby. Somebody has to think about them, to give them hope, to give them faith, right? We need to do that. I think that's only the right thing to do. But think about what I just said. Did you see now what I'm saying about a dummy run, a dummy trip? This child, I just don't think. I've never thought that he made it home. Never thought that. Because if she could have ran in there, took out that trash roll crack, skipped back and took off outside that back fence and went that way, whichever way the dog followed the trail. We know that those dogs followed a scent from that home. We were told that. It's been confirmed. But it was not Sebastian, but it was someone within that home. But the only one in that home was Katie. Right? That's the only one. Fruit Loop. That's the only one. I would call her Special K, right? Yeah, I would call her Special K. But she's gonna get a special set of bracelets, custom made just for her. Well, not custom made, but you know, these beautiful metal bracelets. I don't know when they're gonna deliver them. I hope soon, if they even deliver them at all. I don't even know with these people. I'm still torn on that side of it. I do believe Eric Craddock wants the best. I don't know about all the other ones, because I don't know how. There's certain things that make me try to figure out how that some of those have their jobs with their past life. Like, do they not run background checks in Hendersonville? I don't know. I guess they hire just anybody can be a sheriff or a LE or a detective or whatever. I guess it doesn't matter your rap sheet. But I still want to get to the bottom of the phone. Who's lying about the phone? Who's lying? Detective Brandon Carter or Seth, Katie, Chris? That's how it is. It's one or the other. That's where I'm kind of hitting a rock and a dead wall right here with this phone thing. Maybe I'm overseeing it, but I want to know. Was that phone in the kitchen? Or was that phone in the dining room? Or was that phone in the kitchen first and then in the dining room later? I don't know. Did FBI move all the stuff into the dining room and that's where he saw it? I understand that could be a possibility. And this might just be simple as that. And we don't have to blame anyone. Or we don't have to call anyone a liar. Maybe it was just total, hey, they came in that morning, FBI set up on the dining room table. I don't know where they set up, but say they set up all their gadgets over there, and they took the phone in there because they had to plug it in, right? Check it. All that. Maybe that's where they set everything up. It was on that dining room table. And if that's the case, then I understand. If that's as simple as that. It's not, neither one of them lied. It's just that it probably was on the kitchen counter, and then by the time the FBI went in and found it and brought it in there, it was on the dining room table. I don't know. You would think that it would be, wherever it was in the beginning is where they would have noted it. So I don't know. I'm still working, but we'll see what happens on that. It might be a shadowed moment for a while. Who knows? Don't know. But little Sebastian Rogers deserves answers. He deserves that smile that he so proudly wears. It's one of the biggest smiles I just think I've ever seen. That really grabs you. It does. It grabs you. It pulls you in. It makes you want to go find this kid. And maybe it's just me. Maybe I don't feel that way about it. I do. I always see something in every picture of a missing child before I go search, right? Because we haven't met them. We don't know we haven't shook in their little hands. We don't know that much about them. All we get is that picture. And I know when I first looked at this case and saw that young picture, I thought, man, put this poor little young kid. It's possible that he walked off. Right? At first I did, because I thought he's just a young little kid. Because the pictures that she showed. And then when I see those other pictures of him holding the shoes, and I'm like, this kid ain't walk out there barefooted, lady. That's why he showed us the little pictures, right? That was the main reason, I believe. And so we would buy your story. The little kid that wandered off. He's autistic, he's special needs. He's just a little kid, nonverbal maybe verbal. Like there was wishy-washy. They told wishy-washy stories. But now that I really look back at it, and I start thinking, I'm like, this was about us buying her story. We could buy the story a lot easier of a little kid that wandered off in the bushes right there where they live, right? It's just a simple little accident mistake. Because he's just a young little kid. He just wandered off in there, like Jack and Lily's alleged to have done. Just wandered off, and they just haven't found him yet. Maybe they just didn't search far enough. Maybe he is laying there. I don't think he's laying. I don't think he was ever laying out there in those woods by that house. I don't think he ever even made it across the street. I don't think he made it home from the Texas Roadhouse, period. And I don't think law enforcement believes that either. They changed their date to the 25th, Katie's favorite day. How does that make you feel, Katie? I bet that made you throw up when they did that. Out of fear and nerves, I'm saying. Butterflies. Those nervous butterflies that you get sometimes. She probably had that times 100 million. Just like the trigger warnings in this video, 100 million. Just like allegedly. These are my opinions, my thoughts. A lot of this is my thoughts, my free speech, my opinions, but a lot of it has to do with my research as well. And their research and the facts that are out here, as well as the BS that's out here, right? I don't know if Chris is BSing, but I know that he told us that he went out the front door, Katie did too, and then later on he tells Smiley's World that, no, you couldn't have gone out the front door. My house is protected. Nobody getting out that front door without being seen, at least a shadow. And then all these dominoes start falling, and then I think, what is the real importance of this young picture of Sebastian? Yeah, she wanted us to buy the narrative. The cute little autistic kid that wandered off from his home. He's so cute, he's so little. That's what you think, right? Because you're not paying attention to the age, you're paying attention to the picture. And we're looking at this picture in the beginning, and we're won over by this little kid that's smiling at us. In reality, he's not that little kid. He's freaking way bigger than that. He's still a child, yes, and he still deserves everything the same. I'm just saying, the picture they painted was that he was a young kid that could have got lost. It could have been possible. We would have believed that for a young kid like that young to wander off, it happens, right? But they're found. And then when they weren't found, reality set in, and they had to start showing new pictures because people started asking questions. People started catching on. People started doubting. Hell, Eric Craddock doubted Katie in the first day. So I can't get mad at somebody else for doubting him. When the lead sheriff that just got stuck in that position, that could have been kind of persuaded in the beginning a little bit. So there could have been somebody with higher powers, right? Confusing him a little bit. We don't know that. He told us, I'm not the brightest one in the room. I'm open to suggestions, right? When do you ever hear that from any other sheriff's officer? At least he was brutally honest. And I think that's where he deserves the credit. I think that's what we missed. I think I should have played that part more. Because there's two ways to take that, I get it. But if you really look at it, he's like, hey guys, I'm open to anything because I don't believe him either. That's how I see it now. And I think, damn, he really did. He stood up to that woman. Right outside that command center. That first morning, the first morning after the first day. So the second morning. But I always say that that's the first full morning. The command center was set up the day before. So everything's ready. Excuse me, I hiccup. Everything was ready. So that was the first full day of boots on the ground. And not long after that morning began, still foggy, that's when he made that comment that, hey, I'm not going to say that this kid was wearing shoes. I don't know. His mom said all his shoes are accounted for. His mom said he wasn't wearing shoes. Not me. I'm not saying that. And now that we think about that, right, when I say it like that and we know what we know now, he was already doubting him. He was just trying to figure out how to prove it, and he knew he only had a limited amount of time. By that point, he knew. That morning, he knew. Whatever changed that morning early, when he realized that he might have made a big boo-boo the day before, but it was too late. But I think he did recover from it well. I think that he did let us know that he's not giving up. I think, how are we going to get mad at somebody that's still following warrants in 2025? We're not going to get mad at him for that. Now, I don't know if it's him following him or FBI or who, but I'm just saying, he's a part of all that somehow, some way, I would think, unless they're just totally leaving him out of it. And if they're totally leaving the sheriff's department out of it, then that's not looking good for that whole sheriff's department, to be honest with you. I don't think that's the case, though. I don't. I'm not going to say there's not one or two lab rats in there, right? I'm not going to say that. There might be. I think there might be lab rats in every department somewhere. It's just weaving them out. But that's not our job. That's the chief's job, right? But really think about that, guys. Because I got to get out of here. I got to get to picking up balloons and all that stuff and cakes and all that. But I did a video last night also to load the new stuff that we're going to be doing on this channel. And I'm going to load a little bit. I got Jack and Lily loading and some other stuff loading. But there's a show that we're going to do, guys. I'll go ahead and just give you a little quick rundown right now to get an idea, because I'm curious of y'all's opinion. We got a couple things coming up. We're going to do a 12-month calendar wish list giveaway, but we're going to do it together as a family. Like, y'all are going to be in control of it all. I'm not. Like, this is going to be, we're going to figure out a way to do this as a family channel that we are, and everybody be involved in the 12 months wish list. 1 month we might do back to school supplies. 1 month we might do, feed this community or feed that community, or we might do toys in this community, toys in that community, right? Whatever y'all decide, we'll do it together as a group, as a family, and we'll pick a different state each month. In 12 months, 12 states. And if we continue to just keep doing that all the time every year, then everybody will get their shot, right? Everybody will get a chance. And then the cool thing is, in between, like, while we're doing that as well, like, this wasn't really my idea, but I did agree on it because I felt like it's something that would be the coolest thing ever. I mean, I talked about it with my kids for a while, and I talked about it with other people in the team, and they were like, dude, that is a good idea. I mean, me and my daughter, we just sat down and talked about it for, I don't know, a while. And I was like, y'all sure, y'all think y'all want to do this? And they were like, yeah, I think that would be cool. We should do it. And so what we're going to do, and I don't know if it's going to be sometime starting in January all the way to April, somewhere in that group. We're going to start drawing some comment names, some names from comments that lead each week. And we're not going to tell you when, because we don't want you to try to go in and, leave more comments than the other. But we got to monitor on who comments. We know kind of right now who's doing well, but it does change. It does change a lot depending on the video. Like if I was to drop 4 or 5 in a row Jack and Lily videos right now, we would get a different crowd. You know what I mean? It would be a lot of the same people, but it would be some different enough to make a difference. So it changes all the time. Whoever's in the top, whoever's in the lead might be in the lead today, and in half a day tomorrow they're second or third or fourth or fifth. So you just never know. So we tried to do it to where it would be fair to everyone, because nobody's going to know what week we're going to pick it, right? Well, I'm not going to pick it, period. My kids are. They don't know. I don't know what week they're going to pick, right? And so I'm probably just going to say it randomly, like on a Friday, like, this is the week, okay? Like, who's in the lead right this minute? Like, to make it to where that nobody can really know who's going to be in the lead. That's what's cool. And so that way, it's just going to be a random, really fair way to draw. And then, of course, if we draw someone that doesn't want to do this or doesn't want to participate or maybe can't participate due to health or something like that, I don't know. But as long as, now I understand if somebody's really sick and, and you can't make it, I get it. Things happen in life, or you just can't move around like that anymore, or you need a wheel. It doesn't matter. If you need a buggy and you're fine and you're healthy, you're just old like we get when we get old, and you just need a little help walking around and moving around, that's fine too. We'll make sure we're going to have people there. We're going to have the whole 24 hours of this particular day. You're going to have like different people. Leave that dog alone. You're going to have different people like there, like security, kind of like security people. And there's going to be like people there, right? So that way nobody feels uncomfortable. And I think that'll be cool. But I don't think y'all feel uncomfortable anyway. I'm pretty easy to get along with. Ruby's pretty easy to get along with. So what we're going to do, y'all ready? I don't think I've released it on any of the other ones yet, but I haven't released any of those videos yet. We talked about it several times on a few of them and just haven't loaded those yet. Oh, they're not all the way loaded yet. But it's going to be like a day in the life with Rich and Ruby and family. Like what we're going to do is, stop, please, thank you. What we're going to do is, like, I don't know how the names are going to be drawn because I can't even know that, or it wouldn't even be fair, right? So it's going to be a random draw. Like, we're going to get a stranger, I think. I don't know how they're going to do it. Like, they got this old plastic pump, and they're going to throw all these names in there, and then somebody's going to draw. And then whoever wins is going to get that 24 hours to hang out with us, to see what we do in that 24 hours. And we're going to do whatever in that 24 hours. If there's a case that's needed us, if we're searching that day, we won't really know. I won't know the date, right, when it's going to happen. So we won't know what'll even be going on that day until that date's drawn. And then once that date's drawn, then we'll have to figure out, like, we'll get with everybody. We'll get with whoever it is. And then, of course, then they'll work it out with y'all. Like, hey, can you do this? Do you need any of this? Do you need assistance? Do you need, like, handicap van? Or do you just need to come with your walker? Or just you need to come? Or are you fine? Or it doesn't matter, whatever it is. I'm just letting you know that it doesn't matter. There's nothing going to stop whoever gets drawn from coming unless they just really don't want to do it, okay? But there's nothing going to stand in their way now, like, to stop us. We'll make do with whatever we need to make do with. That's what I'm trying to explain is, it doesn't matter. Like, if you want to come, we'll get you here. And the cool thing about the way we decided to do this is, okay, say that, I don't know, just say that, we'll just say Joe Smo wins, or whoever, just someone wins. Okay, whoever's in your household, like wife, husband, depends on who wins. And if you have kids or grandkids that live with you, whoever in that home, living in that home, that they all get to come. So it won't be just you alone unless, you wanted to do it that way. But you're more than welcome to bring like your spouse and your kids, like, you know, because I understand people can't just go out of town sometime and leave their kids, right? So I don't know. I don't even know if y'all want to do that, if y'all like it, but I just think it's something cool. We're gonna launch it. We were gonna do it April, but I think now they're gonna start figuring like drawing stuff hidden behind closed doors, so I don't see it. I think they're gonna start like in January, honestly, because they do need time. Like, you know, if you're gonna have to set everything up, right? Because we're gonna have to like get plane tickets, whatever we need to do, depending on where this person lives and family, get everything scheduled and set up to get you here. Because we're not gonna make you pay to get here. It's not fair. We're gonna cover your way to get here. And if you can't somehow physically get here, then the other rule is that we can, if we have to play the card, then we can come to you for 24 hours, right? Like me and Ruby, or I don't know how many of the kids are put off to school or what they would be able to come. That would be hard. So it could just end up being me and Ruby, or if they're off, it could be all of us if you can't physically come, right? Get out of the house and come due to something. So don't feel like nobody's left out here. That doesn't matter. We'll make it work. Y'all know me. We'll make it work no matter what we need to do. That doesn't matter. But y'all let me know what y'all think of that, and y'all let me know what y'all think of what we talked about this morning. Do y'all think now that flashlight video could have been staged to prove a little bit different of a point today? I'm trying to let out a little at a time, but I don't let out too much at once. But I do think that that's something to think about, because it could have been a distraction. They could have used that for all the focus to be exactly right there. I think they outsmarted us. And I don't think they did for long, but I think they did for a while. So I'm going to leave it at that. Y'all think about that note. All right, we'll see y'all a little later. Trigger warning, so remember that. And everyone is innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. Just like y'all's comments are y'all's and y'all's alone, not to reflect the channel. Right? We do our research together. Yes, we do some research together. We got a big-hearted little family. But everyone's innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. And some of this is not just alleged opinion. It's educational, whatever you want to call it. Don't take my word for it, I guess. Go take the word at the bottom of the ocean over there. Go dive down there and find out if it's real or not. All right, guys. We talk soon. Prayers for Sebastian Rogers to be found. Prayers for the truth. And are we almost there? I got some new pictures to show y'all today. Maybe a little later. They won't show up right now because it's sun out here, so you really won't get it's best at night to look at the pictures, but I'll show them to you soon once I get back home. All right, guys, we'll sit in the garden and we'll do a little talk, and I'll try to show them. Y'all tell me what y'all think about that. I just wanted to drop a little bit this morning to get y'all ready for what's coming later. Alrighty? All right, guys, we'll talk soon. Y'all be safe. We love y'all. Prayers for all the missing always. Y'all have a blessed day, guys. Hugs, hugs, hugs. All right, bye.